So, with this knowledge in mind, Galen is furious, and it's bad. When a Guardian gets furious because of his deep connection to the Force, it can be felt by everyone. The Jedi Council felt it the minute his rage got to the point where it was at, and it's bad. It terrified the Jedi Council to the point where Galen told the Jedi Council what his plan was, and his plan was this. After he told the Jedi Council his plan, he proceeded with it by going straight to the Chancellor and telling him that he wants to buy his army. He wants to buy from the Chancellor the men under Galen and Abyss's command. He also wants to buy a section of the cloning facility that clones the Republic Army. And once these are bought, he will no longer be directly... This will be a private army at this point. They'll still fight for the Republic without pay. They won't have to be paid, but they get to pick the missions that they go on. They don't have to report directly to the Chancellor anymore. And if they want to, they can go off and do battles on their own. Essentially, is what his conditions are. Now, while Palpatine is very reluctant at this, he is still technically a Sith Lord, and he's a very powerful one. And that's important because he feels the amount of anger and hatred right now that Galen's feeling, and the darkness surrounding him terrifies Palpatine. That's how strong it is. With him being directly in Galen's presence, it terrifies him. Just because of the pure dark energy. He's never felt anything. So, reluctantly, he agrees to these terms. A very large amount of credits is transferred, and Galen now officially has his own private army, which is very important. Now, immediately after this, he goes straight to Kamino to look at his new facility. And when he's looking at it, he wants to see the whole procedure of how the clones are made. And this is when it's the what's that called? The inhibitor chip, the shit in their head, the shit in the clone's head that makes them kill Jedi. You know what I'm talking about? This is when this is discovered. However, it's not told exactly what the chip does. The Kaminoans basically tell them the same thing they told the Jedi. It's designed to make the clones more obedient. Galen doesn't want his Galen doesn't want slaves. He's very big on personal freedom, and he doesn't want his men to have to fight for him because they're told to. He wants his men to question something. So he demands that the chip stop being put in new bred clones from this facility, and orders a mass surgery to remove all the chips from all the clones in his army already, which is a lot. It's a lot of money, and it takes a while. But all the chips are removed, and the chips are taken out of the clone breeding process. Everything else stays pretty much the same. And in the buy as well, Galen managed to get his hands on his own R&D team that can start developing new technology and stuff for his own private army. And a couple new things are made. As the Clone Wars rage on, several new super weapons are made that Galen does not share with the Republic because he fears if one side of the war has it, it will mass destruction of the galaxy. That's how powerful these damn things are. The first thing designed is the railgun, which is a single round firing weapon. It takes a second to charge, and it fires one round, and then it has like a 10-minute recharge and cooldown time. This one round is designed to punch through a ship's shields and hull in one shot. Now, because of the sheer size of it, it is equipped on his ships, on 3 of his ships. But he can only get one on because of the size of it. So while it's powerful, he can't take out whole fleets with it very quickly. It is, and then another super weapon later on in the war, far later, is developed. And this plays a pivotal role later, called the ion cannon. This is going to be renamed because they already have something called the ion cannon in Star Wars apparently, but we're just going to call it the ion cannon for now. What this does is it fires a ring of lasers down on a target. And this ring of lasers collapses on each other into one large-scale beam. It's a satellite that's dropped into orbit around a planet. These lasers combine into one large beam. And when the beam stops firing, 3 seconds later, there's a very large explosion. This weapon was designed to destroy entire cities and military bases with one shot. It has no defensive capabilities, however. So when it's dropped in orbit around a planet, it has to be guarded because it won't take much for the satellite to be destroyed. And he has one of these because this thing is expensive and tough to make. He gets these super weapons to the war. His R&D team has also, very quickly, before these two super weapons, developed a way for Abyss, who is still stuck in a Bacta tank, barely alive, to be able to leave the Bacta tank and survive and live. However, he has to be put... His parts have to be replaced with synthetic. His skin has to be replaced. And he essentially has to be put...
Milo,
time?
let me time
finish
check.
this.
John, you got, like, I'd say, 2 more minutes, so just...
Alright, let me
quick.
finish
Try
up
and put it on a cliffhanger. Alright,
I'm going to finish up what happens to this real quick. The suit, it's essentially a suit, right? Not like a Darth Vader suit. A little bit less
Actually, can you, like,
bullshit.
restart on him being in the back tank? Because I did kind of cut you off, and just for...
Okay.
So it's easier editing.
Well, this is the R&D team for Galen has developed this suit. This is the first thing he put his R&D team on. He wanted a way for Galen to be able to live, to continue to live. So this suit was developed. It's not like Darth Vader's suit. It's not as big, and it's not a full body suit. What I took inspiration from is picture the Sith Stalker armor from Force Unleashed. We'll use that as the base blueprint, and there's going to be a lot of inspiration pulled from that set for this suit. But essentially, this suit it's been developed. However, if they put Abyss in this suit, he can never leave this suit again, and it's a very scary looking suit. So Galen asks Abyss if he wants to be put in this suit. He can either let him go in the suit, or Galen can let him die, essentially. He asks Abyss this while he's in the back. And Abyss's answer is he wants to go in the suit. So they proceed with the surgery. They replace his lost limbs, and they put him in this suit. And he has to spend the rest of his life in this suit now. Now, with him being in the suit, he is not happy. He's basically just lost